All right, guys, so this is a very quick recap of how to factor our 4 different factoring patterns. So feel free to follow along with me. So the first thing that we learned how to factor is by GCF. To do this, you list out your factors of the numbers and of the letters. So when we list out our factors of our numbers, you'll notice that the biggest number in common is a 15. So it comes out as part of our GCF. And we also see that we can pull one A out of each of our pieces. And we can also pull 2 B's out of our parts. So B squared. So now we're on a mission to find our remaining pieces. So from the first piece, 15 times 5 was 75. We also have one letter A left over and one letter B. We had a minus sign in between. And 15 times 2 was 30. And we already pulled all of our A's and all of our B's out. So this is our final answer. Our second type of factoring was by grouping. Grouping, guys, you have to have 4 terms. And with those 4 terms, you guys are going to group them. From here, you're going to find your GCF of the first parenthesis and your GCF of the second. And when we list out those factors, 1 is in common between 1 and 8, and so is 1y. So that would be our GCF of the first. And now we want the remainder. So we have a 1y we did not circle minus an 8 that we did not circle as our remainder. Whatever symbol this third term is will drop down, and now we're going to pull our GCF, which looks to be a 5 in common. And we leave what remains, which is 1y minus an 8. Notice that 1y minus 8 is in common. This is what we call the 2-for-1 special. And then we have our GCFs coming in after that. So your 2-for-1 special gets pulled out in front, and then your GCFs get the second parenthesis, the 1y plus 5 from the front. All right, now we're moving into trinomials, 3 terms. So trinomials, we take the number from the front with the square, and we multiply this to the back. So 1 times 30 is 30. Now we need to list the factors of 30. Your goal is to look for the 2 factors inside here that make a negative 13. So if I add or subtract, in this case our 30 is positive, so it's either going to be both are positive or both are negative. We're going to notice here that our 1 and 30 won't add or subtract to make 13. Our 15 minus 2 is 13, but I can't be negative, so that's bad. But 10 and 3, if I add them together, make 13. And if my 3 is negative and my 10 is negative, that would ensure that we make negative 13. That's your goal. Once you find those 2 factors, you replace the middle term, the negative 13p, with the minus 3p and minus 10p, your factors that made the negative 13. Why we do this, guys, is because now we have 4 terms, which means now we are going to group and find our GCFs of both sides. So find me your factors of 1 and 3 and 10 and 30. When we do that, you'll see that I have 1p as our GCF with the remainder of 1p minus 3 not being circled. Whatever the symbol is on our third term, which is negative 10, will drop down as a negative, and 10 is our GCF of our second side, which leaves us a remainder of 1p minus 3, and we have our 2-for-1 special and our GCF. So 1p minus 3 times 1p minus 10 is our answer. All right, so our last type of trinomial is when we had a number in the front of the c squared, but it works exactly the same. So we're going to multiply 12 times negative 2, which is negative 24, and I need those factors. Your goal is to make positive 5 in the middle from two of these factors. Since the 24 is negative, guys, that means one of these numbers must be positive and one must be negative to make this happen. So let's take a look here. 24 minus 1, that would not give us 5. 12 minus 2 is 10. That won't help us. Ooh, but 8 minus 3 would work as long as the 8 is positive and the 3 is minus. So positive 8 minus 3 is positive 5. That's what we wanted. Yes. Once you find your factors, now you replace positive 5c with negative 3c and positive 8c. We do this so that now we have 4 terms to group. And now we're going to write out those factors. Once you write out your factors, let's find the GCF. So on this first part, we have 3c as our G. And our non-circled pieces are 4c. We keep the minus sign. And a 1 is the only thing not circled on our second part, 3c. Drop down the sign from the third term, which is positive. And our GCF of our right side is a positive 2. Our remaining pieces not circled are 4c. I should still have a minus sign and a 1. So our 2 for 1 special is 4c minus 1, and our GCFs are 3c plus 2. So our final answer is 4c minus 1 times 3c plus 2. I hope this helps, guys.